Hi guys, it is time for my monthly. Basically, is your ex coming back? It is usually due end of the first week each month. So this is our November and the first week of December. These are actually the cards from a different deck. I actually do have exactly the same cards in this deck, and I have developed this spread that I called Cat Tarot Knows or X spread, but it also can apply to actually current on and off relationships and sometimes tricky relationships. When I do the private reading, if you're in a relationship, I kind of like use this King of Wands versus Knight of Wands, and I use generic Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands for a reason. So I'm going to spend just a minute to explain this category. So don't start telling me, oh, you're having the same in the same video. Yes, I actually do, because these are just titles of the book that I want to figure out for each sign what's happening this particular month. So the very first category, the Magician. The Magician is the creator, right? This category number one is a starter category. Is this relationship a starter? You know that maybe you want it, but sometimes just circumstances or people are against us. Maybe, you know, we live in different cities. Maybe, you know, temptation is just too much. Maybe family is against it. Maybe we just never find time to see each other. That this is all going to show up in this category. So even if this says you guys are good to go and you will have a happy relationship, if you don't see each other, it just simply kind of like fade away. So this is kind of relationship that's going, this is kind of category that's going to explore that. Then I have here Temperance reversed. And it's purposely reversed because in the upright position, Temperance is talking about patience, and for every relationship we need patience, even though they're selling us and they fell in love and that kind of stuff. Okay, let me be a little bit skeptical about that, right? It happens to all of us. We all crave that, but we do know that something that kind of like turns into flame really quickly also really quickly kind of like fades away. So Temperance talks about merging two very different liquids together, talks about alchemists, talks about seeing this vision for these two people creating their own kingdom, right? The angel. Now, when Temperance is reversed, something is not gelling. Something is not right. Either it's not the right person, or it's not the right time, or it's not the right place, or just not the right circumstances. So these two categories, as you can see, are very important and they are circumstantial. Then it's going to be about you and about your partner, whether you are in a relationship or not. Even though Queen of Wands generally talks about fire signs and King of Wands talk about fire signs, in this particular readings, I am just dedicating this to be you. Why? Because if we have any issues in a relationship, we always have to take a few steps back, sometimes all the way back to dating, sometimes kind of like really figuring out, okay, so what do I want to do and how do I really want to, you know, seduce this person all over again. I want him to see me with fresh eyes, or I want her to see me as powerful and important. So hence we kind of take on this role of Queen of Wands for ladies, or role of Knight of Wands, or King of Wands for gentlemen. So King of Wands is slower than Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is the one who will chase you and eventually is going to settle in for King of Wands. So that's kind of the difference. And Eight of Wands is generally love arrows and communication and the energy card, right? It goes literally, you can see the arrows of love flying in this direction. So I really want to see what's happening here. Is this combination proper? Because sometimes we read into things that other persons say and we create our own reality, or maybe this reality doesn't exist. So it's just going to here tell me in this category what the partner thinks about you or what she thinks about you. And here, kind of like how is this communication flowing, if at all. Now this is my karma card. I have 4 karma cards. The karmic cards that I designate as karmic cards are Judgment, Justice, Ace of Swords, and Wheel of Fortune. There is a reason for all of them. In this particular card, it's kind of really important for me to see kind of like the emotions from the past that are currently kind of like being looked upon. So this is simply just, again, if you're getting blessings in this relationship, if things from the above looked upon kind of like are favorable, it's kind of like it's not really your will, but it is something that basically depends on kind of like really higher level of thinking. And this card, Four of Wands, which is my relationship, next level, long term, going to the next stage card, is going to tell me about the quality of your relationship. So this is kind of in short description. So hopefully you listen through it, because now I'm going to just jump in and I'm going to just roll out the cards and we can go with that. Okay, so talk to you soon. Hey, hi Libras. You know what sucks? It sucks after being on a birthday month and everybody catering to you that you are just going on the bottom of the pile, so you end up getting your reading last. This is not to say that is the least, because the reason why I separate these readings over 2 or 3 days is that everybody gets extremely high amount of energy. So it's not like just off you go, there you go. So let me preface this with that these readings are general in nature, so everything or bits and pieces can resonate with you. To get really your own, really direct your energy, please contact me for this reading. It's like $50. It is on special, and you can check it on my website, www.cattarot.ca. All right, so let's just jump right in. Ouch! King of Pentacles. Who's married? Somebody is in some kind of relationship, or somebody's ex is hovering or leaving an impact over here. I'm looking here in the first 10 days. So if you are like viewing it on a day of release, it's going to be from the 6th to the 16th. If not, the very first 10 days from the date of your viewing. Okay, so we'll see more about that. And yeah, there is like somebody's marital happiness or relationship being affected for sure, and something needs to be related. Maybe you're asking about your ex who is maybe who maybe stepped out. This could be actually your partner that you're currently, you know, maybe living into different places, or somehow this actually could mean this kind of breakup as well. But this is kind of like really weighing really heavily if this is shown to me as the first 2 cards that came out of the gate. So how are you seen? You are seen as between the rock and the hard place. You are seen as that you need to make a decision, and this is really, really heavily hard on you. It looks like you don't like any of the options, and you feel like you have to pick something in order to keep moving. You're Libra, right? You know how difficult is this situation. Look at her. Like, I mean, she has a sword on each of her shoulders. So she's trying to judge this by not really looking at it, just kind of feeling the weight. So it's a tough choice, and it's one of those things that you, whatever you feel, it's decided. It's kind of like feels that the other one was better, right? It's one of those things. So let's see the communication. Yet you have another 2. Oh my gosh, Libra, talking about heaviness of decision. This is something from the past. So you're looking in a history of the situation. You're looking things that have already been established and that they worked. And this is communication. Maybe it's going to be passionate encounter and conversation about that. And also saying, listen, maybe, you know, certain things feel kind of hard and sturdy, but we still can build this world. You know, this is your own world. This is how you want to build it. This kind of talks about partial success in the matter. And however, the partner is kind of like, oh, he's crossing his heart, his arms over, I guess, between his heart and the solar plexus chakra, meaning not sure, not confident, not sure if this is the right opportunity for them or they should wait more. And it's kind of could be a picky quality as well. In any case, it's an emotional quality. So they are like all four suits over here that I see. So it's kind of really experiencing coming from all the sides. So what is karma saying about it? Karma is saying, guys, you know, there is an issue of codependency over here. Like you are tied to each other, right? And whenever I see this card, I always think about exes. I always think there is a third person who is really messing things up. Sometimes that third person can be a neighbor. Sometimes the third person can be an ex-wife. Sometimes it can be a mother-in-law, even good, willing friend. But they push the buttons not knowing what is behind this button, right? And this is what we are saying. There is a history that, you know, is affected here. So now this is coming reversed. So this is saying there are really unhealthy aspects about this relationship. Somebody lacked self-confidence, and I think this is your partner. And somebody maybe was overly physically or overly materialistically oriented. And again, I would say this is your partner. And hence you're kind of trying to kind of like figure out if you can kind of like foster some growth here. As far as relationship is saying, look, you kind of went as far as you could on the stage. This chapter is finished, but it's a good news. A new chapter can be built. A new chapter can be built with sort of like getting completely different base. These are fixed signs over here, because fixed signs are builders, right? And this is saying, look, anything that has been shady, anything that has been insecure, or that somebody doesn't have a vision, what is good for them, or what is right for them, has to be communicated. And only then, and just then only, things can move forward, right? So let's see the second 10 days. So that would be, I don't know, from the 16th to the 26th, or the other 10 days from your viewing this. Somebody will really be taking their stand and saying, you know what, it's almost anger. And anger is good. Anger is like sort of like you feel suppressed, you know, the pressure cooker at one point it just explodes. And here it is like, look, I know what they want, and this is for you, Libra. It takes quite a while to do that, but look, I know what they want. Stop telling me otherwise, and I want my needs met. This guy here, he's protecting his heart chakra. It's saying, look, I cannot proceed with this the way it was. This is also number 7. Number 7 talks about, look, I'm facing my own stuff, but I know also what you are doing. So let's kind of like, let's kind of take my needs in account as well here. Sort of like, no, we will take my needs in account this time around. So that's right. Again, I see this like motive of the 3 people. So it could have been a third person, and look, somebody thought they got away with this, and maybe they did. Maybe this person here is actually the third person really messing up, and somebody thought that maybe you don't really know what happened. But this is exactly something that would force things to be built on completely wrong foundation, and it wouldn't work. And I think this is why you're so closely deliberating. You see, you're kind of instinctually feeling that something is wrong here. There's some kind of secrets. You're carrying the burdens, and you don't think that you should be carrying all these burdens, right? Because things are just hard. Things are unknown. You don't see what is ahead of you, and you're air sign. You like to have this bird eye perspective, right? So even when you go down to fire level, it is okay, I am kind of like stuck in this fire. I kind of still have to see my way up. And this is usually a card that says you kind of have to figure out what is doable and what is not doable, and just shed and shape things that are not absolutely necessary in the situation, because in fact that's going to help the situation. There is some kind of sadness. Again, this card is, you see, going a step further from disappointment and disillusion to depression to kind of like being sad over things that have been lost. There are 3 cups. There are 3 people who kind of like are hurt in this situation. And yes, in relationship, like, you have to be transparent, otherwise what's the even point of being there? The point in this card is that there's water on the bridge, and also that, you know, you need to dust off. You really need to keep moving. This is another 5 here matched together, and a 7. They're kind of very unstable in tarot. But these 2, if this person kind of like finally realizes that you can lift your head up and start moving on, that there is another soulmate here waiting. You see, this is the 2 that kind of looks in a distance looking up, but now second 10 days it might not be fun, guys. As far as them, kind of like they admire you. This is your card, guys, the Empress. Empress is a creative, a fair, very feminine, the exalted feminine in tarot. Somebody who is like really everything, but either they are clingy, which could be with this devil, and trying to kind of like, especially if you're female, somebody will try to flatter you, because you're Libra. Flattery gets people everywhere with you. But be very careful that they're not putting additional burden, kind of like using that for their own means. Also, they are clinging on you way too much, or trying to take advantage of the situation, so you kind of like take them under your wing and do things for them. They have to do their own work. They have to figure out what they want. Don't get sucked into that, because this will give you a mother role, not a boyfriend-girlfriend role. Karma, look, it is the 7, another 7. This one is saying, okay, what is it you want? Look at this. This person has this team of, oh, I don't know what they want, and now I want everything. Like, isn't this like what a child does? They cannot make their mind up. When you become adult, you realize, well, everything is possible technically, but practically, sometimes when you get too much, it gets kind of like too much of a burden. Why not to decide on 1 or 2 things? Otherwise, the whole works can collapse. And guys, somebody here is playing a detective. This actually even could be you, trying to figure out what this person is really up to, especially if you are suspecting that could be another person involved. You'll be trying to find it out on a social media, Instagram, Facebook. Kind of like you will actually do some kind of research, just to kind of like, mostly to kind of like clear your own doubts. Maybe because this person is just sending you this flavor, you know, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this, etc., after maybe things progressing to a certain level, right? It's kind of like hard if you're jumping on the other side and you're jumping over a precipice, which is literally when you kind of become married, because you really don't know what you're heading into. And then in the middle of the jump, you say, I don't know about it. Well, wait a minute, it's just too late, right? So let's say the last 10 days, or it would be like from the 26th to, let's say, 7th to 10th of December. Wow, you're getting judgment reverse here. So this person is playing a game. This person knows very well the right from wrong, and they are choosing wrong because they think they can get away with this, just like here, and they keep continuing in that merry direction. I want it, my needs, my needs, my needs, and who cares about you? And I know how great it works with you, because my Libra is rising, and when I see that in people, I don't care how much I'm in love with them. Delete, block, they will never talk to me again. And that's kind of like something, a huge flaw in a person that I just cannot tolerate. And I think you are kind of getting there. You see, there is this feeling of being stuck in a situation. Overall, you have lots of swords right here, and that's why you're kind of trying to answer it to yourself. I'm feeling stuck. Why I'm feeling stuck on this person? What is about this person that I am still around it? Because you're defensive, you are stuck, and it looks like it could be that there are reasons. Maybe you're living with this person, maybe they're children. So you're kind of like really examining both sides of the issue over here. And there you go. They are seeing you as very pretty. So you see this King of Pentacles, Queen of Wands here again. You are not a couple here, from what I see. Something is off in this relationship. They see you as very pretty, but they have not been able to really realize the fullness of your personality. Looks like they are attracted with shiny objects versus the real people. And here again, not together, but there will be communication about them, dusting off, rolling up their sleeves, being the person they should be, and kind of like creating, proper life and stability, and kind of like, can you do it? And that's especially after them, like, you realize most likely you'll find out that they're doing something. As far as them, now they want to come back. They want to come back. They want to deal with the situation. But overall situation is still creating anxiety, and it's going to culminate to some kind of level of what the heck, and am I doing the right thing? Just all I would say, guys, you need to get your sleep. Good remedies are melatonin, chamomile tea, and also catnip. Believe it or not, even though catnip makes cats crazy, for us, catnip tea is just like a chamomile tea. It's very calming. So even though this person is coming back, they and you, look at this, are having this anxiety over that. It's almost like, looks like this is forced. I'm wondering if there are children here, and this is kind of your feeling, we are doing this for the kids, but both partners are not really not excited about it. Let me put it this way. So yeah, there is like the walls are up, we are guarded. Maybe you'll separate the finances, and it's going to be a situation in a sort of status quo. And actually, you know what, I would recommend that, because if you feel that somebody is playing, that somebody is not growing up, that somebody is not maturing in the person they should be at a certain age, well, you cannot force it on them. Only person that can change somebody is you, and you can change you can change your expectations. Don't take on too much. Be careful with finding something out. Be transparent about communicating, and if you get evasiveness trying to sidetrack you from it, then you know that this person is not dealing with this. Then you can simply one more time say, listen, I am not planning to spend my life in anxiety over this. Let's see, if you can be transparent and maybe giving them the chance. This is not to say that you have to just let them in wholeheartedly in your world so they can break everything else. Just they have to earn their trust back. So Libra, as I said, this is kind of general, and to get your exact vibrations, please contact me at www.cattarot.ca. Until the next time, I love you guys, all the best.